Good evening. Premier Li Keqiang has announced plans to link the stock exchanges of Hong Kong and Shanghai, allowing investors on both sides to trade designated shares in each other's markets.
The through-train scheme will be launched on a trial basis in 6 months' time, allowing 23.5 billion yuan worth of cross-border trading every day. ATV's Emily Su reports.
Premier Li Keqiang shook hands with Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying and other members of the Hong Kong and Macau delegation as the Boao Forum for Asia began on Hainan Island this morning. In his keynote address, Li announced plans to link the Hong Kong and Shanghai bourses, allowing investors on both sides to start trading designated stocks in each other's markets. We will actively create conditions to build a mechanism for mutual connectivity between the Shanghai and Hong Kong stock markets, said Li. The move will further improve the opening and healthy development of capital markets in China and Hong Kong. Within 10 minutes of Li's announcement, local stock market operator Hong Kong Exchanges and Clearing, or HKX, suspended trading at 10:40 a.m. 2 hours later, authorities issued a statement to announce details of the pilot program they're calling Shanghai Hong Kong Stock Connect. Under the southbound trading link, mainland investors will be allowed to trade shares in designated companies listed in Hong Kong. Under the northbound trading link, Hong Kong investors will be able to buy selected Shanghai-listed shares. So far, 266 listed companies in Hong Kong and more than 560 in Shanghai are eligible to join the scheme. But trading volumes will be subject to overall and daily quotas. During the trial period, which is expected to start in 6 months, Hong Kong investment in mainland stocks will be limited to an overall quota of 300 billion yuan, while the daily quota is capped at 13 billion yuan. Investment in Hong Kong stocks will be limited to 250 billion yuan overall and 10.5 billion yuan daily. Hong Kong will also require mainland investors to have at least 500,000 yuan in their accounts. All quotas may be adjusted in the future.
Even if the quota was hit every single day, this would still give you well over 20 trading days in order to evaluate how the program is working. And I think during this period or after this period, the regulators will take another look.
This is a major breakthrough in the opening up of China's capital market and a milestone for Hong Kong as an international financial center. Mutual market access will bring exciting new opportunities to our financial industry and enable Hong Kong to take another step forward in our role as a vital link between China and the world.
The chief executive had a similar message.
It underlines the role that Hong Kong plays as a global and international financial center amongst all cities in the country. And it also signifies the ongoing contribution that Hong Kong, as one of the cities in the country, can contribute to the ongoing reform and opening up of the Chinese economy.
Leung gave an assurance that the scheme will be monitored closely.
It is important that while we open up the two markets to the respective investors in these two markets, we pay due attention to the matter of investor protection. And this is something that the various bodies in both markets will work on.
The through-train scheme to allow cross-border share trading was first proposed by Beijing in 2007, but it was scrapped because the central government did not want to lose too much control over the market. Now it's back on track. Emily Su, ATV News.
More from the Boao Forum. Premier Li Keqiang has warned that China will respond firmly and swiftly to any provocations when it comes to defending its territorial claims in the region.
Despite further signs today of a slowdown in China's economy, Li ruled out short-term stimulus measures to counter it.
Premier Li Keqiang's keynote speech at the opening of the Boao Forum for Asia read like a policy address for the world's second-largest economy. He ruled out short-term measures to kickstart growth, which has been slowing down. In response to momentary fluctuations in economic growth, we will not take forceful stimulus measures, Li told his audience. We will instead focus on medium to long-term healthy development. Li said it didn't matter if growth this year was slightly below the target of 7.5%, because reforms will drive the economy in the long run. In a reflection of the slowdown, official data out today showed a dramatic plunge in China's imports and exports last month. Exports fell 6.6% in March compared with the previous year, and imports dropped 11.3%. The numbers came as a surprise for analysts who had been expecting an increase in both imports and exports, adding to concerns about the state of China's economy. Looking beyond China, Li called on Asian countries to find new sources of development drivers to re-energise the region as it faces economic uncertainties and destabilising factors. The forum comes at a time of growing tensions between China and its neighbours over disputed parts of the East and South China Seas. Li gave an assurance that Beijing wants a peaceful resolution of territorial disputes, but warned that his government will respond firmly and swiftly to any provocations. We Chinese believe in repaying kindness with kindness and meeting wrongdoing with justice, Li said. He did not name any parties, but a recent flare-up in tensions with Japan and the Philippines has put China on edge. This week, China's military and civilian leaders warned visiting US Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel to rein in Japan and lectured him on American interference.
It's been confirmed that the Pan-Democrats will get 2 hours on their own with senior mainland officials to discuss political reform during their visit to Shanghai this weekend.
Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying and pro-government lawmakers will attend the first session for the entire LegCo delegation, then leave the room to the Pan-Democrats. Here's Emily Sue.
LegCo President Zhang Yuxing met this morning with some of the 57 lawmakers who have signed up for the ice-breaking trip to Shanghai this weekend. They discussed the final itinerary of the two-day visit and confirmed that the Pan-Democrats will get their wish for exclusive talks with senior mainland officials, separately from their pro-establishment colleagues. Zhang today guaranteed that opposition lawmakers can hold their own face-to-face talks on Sunday afternoon with Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office Director Wang Guangya and Basic Law Committee Chairman Li Fei.
The session will consist of two parts. During the first 1.5 hours or so, all members will attend and will have a dialogue with the central government officials. Now, after that session, after that part ends, some members, to be specific, members from the Pan-Democratic camp can remain behind and have another 2 hours or so to talk with the officials.
However, Zhang noted that the organizer of the trip, Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying, will only sit in for the first session, then leave with his political allies so the Pan-Democrats can discuss their concerns about universal suffrage. The LegCo president will stay behind along with Constitutional Affairs Chief Raymond Tam. The ADPL's Frederick Fong and Sin Chung Kai from the Democratic Party welcomed the arrangements, but stressed that 2 hours is not enough.
We have stated that we would like to have more time in the very beginning, but up to this moment, the result is still disappointing.
Fong said although time is scarce, each of the 14 Pan-Democrats who are going to Shanghai will get at least one chance to speak. We will fight for every opportunity to express our views on political reform, he stressed. Half of the Pan-Democrats, including Democratic Party Chairwoman Emily Lau, are boycotting the trip, saying if the central government wants to show real sincerity, it should give them back their confiscated home return permits first. The LegCo delegation will head to Shanghai tomorrow night and return to Hong Kong on Sunday. Emily Sue, ATV News.
The Hong Kong government may have wasted taxpayers' money on stockpiling the drug Tamiflu, as new research suggests it works no better than regular paracetamol in treating flu.
International researchers say governments around the world are wasting billions of dollars stockpiling a drug whose effectiveness is in doubt.
Has the government been wasting taxpayers' money on stockpiling Tamiflu? During the SARS pandemic in 2003, the anti-flu drug was the medicine of choice. And just last year, when Hong Kong was facing a bird flu threat again, the government relied heavily on Tamiflu, saying it had 18 million doses ready to deal with a potential epidemic. But it could all be a waste of money, according to the respected Cochrane Review Research Network and the British Medical Journal. Researchers who have battled for years to get full data on Tamiflu from Swiss-based manufacturer Roche have cast serious doubt over its effectiveness and questioned the spending of billions of dollars by governments stockpiling the drug around the world. They found no evidence to support claims that Tamiflu reduces flu complications. The researchers went further to declare that Tamiflu works no better than regular paracetamol, which can be bought at a local pharmacy here for less than $20. Roche has disputed the findings. Here in Hong Kong, the health department had no response. It was unable to say how much of Tamiflu it has stockpiled over the years and how much of taxpayers' money it has spent on a drug that could be useless.
Taiwanese students protesting against a trade deal with the mainland have ended their 24-day occupation of Parliament.
But the students say their campaign is not over yet and they will continue monitoring what their government does next.
It was time early this evening for protesting students to clear up the mess and leave the main chamber of Taiwan's Legislative Yuan after camping there for 24 days. During the height of the protest, around 200 students had occupied the parliamentary chamber without running water or toilet facilities. Today they spent more than an hour untying and removing chairs that had been used to block police from coming in. Students have hailed their radical protest, dubbed the Sunflower Movement, as a success. The student leader Chen Wei-ting said the campaign is not over and they will continue fighting against the government's controversial trade pact with the mainland. While the students left the chamber holding sunflowers, authorities had 1,600 police officers on standby as a precaution. The students decided on Monday to vacate the premises after Parliamentary Speaker Wang Jingping visited them and promised to see the enactment of an oversight bill to monitor all cross-strait agreements. A relieved President Ma Ying-jeou welcomed the students' departure, saying it was in line with public expectations. But he reminded everyone that the island's services industry has reached full capacity and faces strong competition.
Our own service industry in Taiwan is somewhat saturated and very competitive, and we do not believe that mainland China's service industry will come to Taiwan in large numbers. But we think more public communication and public education are needed to make our people understand having such agreement with mainland China is in our best interest.
Protesters stormed Parliament on the 18th of March, complaining that Ma was trying to bulldoze through with a trade deal that would give Beijing too much economic influence over the island. They also raised fears that the agreement could open the floodgates to mainland university students who would take their jobs. The student-led campaign has become the island's largest anti-Beijing movement in years and dealt a severe blow to Ma's efforts to build closer ties with the mainland.
Still to come on ATV's main news tonight, kidnappers demand more than $11 million ransom for Chinese tourist abducted in Malaysia.
Teenager charged as adult for stabbing rampage at US high school.
Planning to enjoy the final romantic getaway, but the baby wouldn't like to wait.
Jack, I think the baby's